Hello, everyone? Or did it? Oh, no one's there. Shit. Oh.
Shane just said a bad word.
Okay, I think maybe everyone just
it looks like
refreshed or something.
Yeah. Hey, everyone. Sorry about that.
Yeah, they're rebooting. Yeah, thanks, Ed. John, thank you for the smiley face. She looks great. Husky, is it just me or are they frozen? No, we're mimes today. All right, so hi everyone. Thanks for watching. Welcome to everyone. Thank you, History X and Ken. Nice shirts. We'll talk about that. So, Steve, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
It's a good week for us.
It is. It is a good week. You're right. It's but for us now, the work really begins.
Yes, long ways to go still. But as some of you, hopefully most of you can see, she is above water. And do we know what the official list is?
I do.
Well, okay. You want to save that?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to go into some more details, but she's above water. We still have a lot of work to do, and we're, ready to do that. But, this is a great first step. This is what we needed to do to make it to this next step. We're very happy about that. But again, still a lot of work to do.
Yeah. Okay, so that leads to some of our updates. Things are moving pretty fast now that she has been, that she's refloated. She's back to the draft marks that she should. She may be still, say, 6 inches under where she should be or where we'd like her to be, but that's probably just, they've pumped out about 98% of the water, most of the contaminant. So that 6 inches we expect will come up, and then again it will just start to the work that we had started last year will continue, and they hope to finish the whole hull by the September. Hey, there you go. Boy, there's a lot going on. We'll get to we'll get hello from Tennessee. Hello to Tennessee. We will get to all of those. Steven's just reviewing those. So we're about 6 inches from where we ideally, for me, would like to see her. Today, all of a sudden, the list has become variable, and we know why that is, because she's floating. And so when they take the record, if she's just kind of rocking around. So today's list was 2.2. Yesterday was 1. The day before that was 0.4. Now that doesn't mean, anything's wrong. It just means that she's beginning to move with the current now. And so when they come on board at 1500, they go to the clinometer to read it, wherever it is, whatever she's doing at the time. So they're getting variable readings now, which is really, from our standpoint, which is ultimately good. Also, we've lost 2 of the crew. They've left. We got Miller Environmental and TNT Salvage. They both went back to home base for them. So this is now, thankfully, we are now not in a salvage operation. All right, but we are in a 3-phase operation now. Salvage is done. That recovery is done. That's the important thing. And we are now into a maintenance, decontamination, and restoration phase. All right, so that's where we are, and that's what I'm saying. Things are moving very quickly. Bidco, the company, is already cleaned off, power washed the main deck. So all of that intrusion on the main deck is now clean. And of course, they'll probably do it again, but they just wanted to get that initial scum off as she rose. So yeah, that's great that we moved past the emergency recovery phase and salvage phase and into those 3 other phases. So that's kind of the update for now. You just saw the video. Hopefully all of you watched the video. It premiered at 7:45. And
yep. If not, you can, after our live show, you can jump back onto our YouTube and check out the newest video. Update 7?
It is update 7. Yeah, update 7. So we've been trying to keep you updated as much as possible. Listen, Steve can attest, I can attest that when we're here during the day, there's meetings going on meetings, and we might say, okay, let's talk at 2 o'clock, and then at 1:50 he gets pulled somewhere, at 2:05 I get pulled somewhere, and then we can't meet up again for another 2 hours or so. Because things are happening like, hi Gregory, I just saw Rochester, so. I know, random, I know.
Let me get to some of these questions real quick. Husky says, I don't know if you saw, but yesterday I got 3 magnets and 3 USS Sullivans. USS the Sullivan's glasses on the online store. Thank you very much,
yeah,
Husky.
Husky, awesome. Thanks so much.
Hoist the Jack, I'm here. Just got done with the Top Gun world premiere.
Whoa.
Fancy. How was it, Hoist? Let us know how it was. Ken wants to know what happened to my beard. Yeah, I looked at myself and I said, how can I look uglier? And I was like, I'm going to shave my beard off. So there's that.
You know, that's a good start. That's right.
That's a good start, right?
So it's funny that you put out a poll last week about having mustaches, and now you're actually going in reverse. I wanted to trick you guys. I'm sorry. Shane didn't grow. I wanted to look like Shane. That's what it is. Okay, let's see. Our Hull 4 main machinery space is now dewatered. Hi, Hugh. That is, to my knowledge, yes. We have not getting specific, at our level, we have not been getting specific updates that specific, but when we hear that 98% of the water is pumped off, that's the update we get. So certainly she would not have come anywhere close to floating if the machinery, the fire room and the engine rooms were still submerged. So again, that was the whole point of the pumping plan. I know a lot of you, probably not anyone here, or if it was, you're just not commenting. But a lot of you said, well, what's taking so long with the pumping plan? Well, that's what it was. They needed to get the 2 sides ready, so when they started to bring out the B section, then they could measure the water, and as soon as they all hit across A, B, and C, then they were able to all pump out at the same time. So yeah, so my understanding would be that the 2 fire rooms and the 2 engine rooms are pretty much cleared of water.
All right, let's see. Yeah. We got some more comments here. Standing tall and looking good.
Hello from Little Rock. How are you? Who was it? El Ole. Thank you, El Ole.
I'm a few minutes late, but I'm here just in time to hear not an emergency recovery phase. Great news.
Thanks, Pat.
Caught the pre-recorded show. She's looking good. Do you think you'll be open around the endish of the month?
Yeah, Husky. I think we are. I don't think it's private news, but yeah, I think we're looking for.
We'd like to be. That is, I think, the plan.
Yeah.
Barring any other issues.
I mean, you have an encampment coming up?
Encampment coming May 14th, so we will have students and campers and Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts back on. So we're definitely looking forward to that. I think that's a good sign of a reopening possibility this month. We're taking it day by day, but we are planning for the future. The immediate future, I should say. So yeah, I mean, things are looking really, I think, pretty good and pretty up. So we're pretty optimistic that this is gonna go in a great direction, if that's a vague enough answer.
Oh, please don't say that.
No.
We're gonna give you the vague answer. I get it.
No, it's just we really don't have the exact answer to that, but we're pretty.
Because it changes every day.
But we are optimistic. So. Yeah, we're looking forward to reopening. I think it's been just is today 3 weeks? 3 weeks?
Yeah, I guess it is. Yeah.
It's felt like forever. It's felt so long. We can't wait to see you guys back on board again.
Yeah. Hello, Lockport. Hello, Massachusetts.
Shane, I got my sweater, glass, and patch. Can't wait for my decals. Thank you, Hulk Hogan.
They should be in the mail, as I emailed with you. That they should be in the mail, and I am sporting. I know I don't like to hawk things, but this is one of the T-shirts, the new designs that you can buy. We also have this one, which is cool. It's got a banner with "Save the Sullivans." It even has the ship emblem on the left shoulder, and then it says "Failure is not an option" on the back. All right, but then we also got shirts that says "Failure was not an option."
Oh, interesting.
So those are shirts that either one can work now. And then we also have green and blue sweatshirts. All right, so that's what they look like. Again, the emblem of the ship emblem on the side, on the left sleeve, and then "Save the Sullivans" and Buffalo Naval Park. So we did get a lot of new merchandise in if you guys are interested. And I will leave it at that. Thank you for all of your support, though, in terms of merchandise or straight donations. If you guys have been watching the 3D model of the ship, there's also ways to donate there. And you could give 50 cents, you can give $1, things like that. So we appreciate everything that you guys are doing for us and with us, and that you're here every step of the way with the updates. And, can't thank you all enough.
Yeah. So I'll read off a few more.
Please, let's get to some questions.
Chopper73 from Perth, Australia.
Wow.
Hi guys, congrats on getting her back up on an even keel. Cheers. Have you been aboard yet? And
thanks, Hugh.
Shane.
Thank you, Chopper. How are you? I'm gonna. We've gotten a bunch of fans from Australia and a couple from New Zealand. So I'm gonna talk about the Croker battle flag because we have a kangaroo on the Croker battle flag for our submarine, and maybe I'll do a special video for Australian and New Zealand folks. Why do we have a kangaroo on the battle flag of our submarine USS Croker? Hugh, I have been on board. I was on board on Saturday. I took about a 50-minute video. Not many people have seen that yet. I'm using it for the cataloging purposes, and I'm taking an inboard profile of the ship and kind of jotting in the compartment, what I'm seeing and things like that, so that can be kind of a thing moving forward. Yeah, it's difficult to see, as you can imagine. So that's really what I have to say. Some parts that I expected to be good were actually better than good. Some parts that I expected to be bad were, in one or two instances, worse. So, but she's floating. They've patched 55 holes. We've come across a video where, that we didn't know before of a video of something, so we might release that. I've been talking to some people on YouTube about that. That was released. That was not released. It's still being tightly held, I guess, but for the investigation and for the insurance purposes. But I would like to release that too, because that is an astounding video. So yes, I have. Thank you.
All right, so hello from South Carolina. Did the boilers fill with water?
That's a great question, Gregory. I do not have that answer. My first inclination was, knowing how they were secured just prior to 3 weeks ago, I would say no. But there's many ways to get into a boiler, if there's something even behind the boiler against the aft bulkheads or the forward bulkheads. There's certain spaces that I have not gone to. I have not encircled the whole boiler. So we probably would have seen some steam. That was a joke, sorry. But that I cannot answer that.
All right.
Sorry.
Gary wants to know what happened.
Hi, Gary. The video that I'm talking about is we saw something that we didn't know before, and it is not something that we probably, once it started, would have been able to stop on our own. So I'll say that. and I hope to release the video or get permission to release the video. So we all have each staff person has their own theory. All right, so that will be part and parcel with my theory of what happened, which led to something else, which led to something else. How's that for vague, huh? But yeah, there was something there that we all looked and said, wow, I don't know if we
before, right?
Yeah,
but that's kind of the.
It wasn't there before, and
how it exactly happened, we just don't know yet.
Correct. And would we have been able to stop it?
All right. So Hoist has an update about Top Cruise, Top Gun.
Tom Cruise with Top Gun.
Yeah, Top Cruise. It was great. It was on the deck of the USS Midway in San Diego this afternoon. Tom Cruise choppered in and landed on the bow of the Midway.
How do you top that?
I know, right?
I mean, what are we going to get Tom Hanks here or something like that? I mean, come on. I mean, that's crazy. I mean, you can't beat that. Thanks, Hoist.
I was out there last month to watch the original movie on the deck. It was epic.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, classic movie.
Yeah, I only saw it once or twice.
You know, when I was a kid, do you remember the Nintendo Top Gun game?
No.
It was so hard. You had to it starts, you're in the plane and you got to land on an aircraft carrier.
Oh, that makes it tough.
And it was extremely difficult.
Even with just the A and B?
Yeah, you had the A and B and you had to it was a good game, but it was hard. And Tom Cruise still looks the same as he did in the original.
Oh yeah, that's what Scientology will do.
Like the Service Star pennant behind you guys, the 5 gold star pennant.
Yeah, the 5 gold star pennant. This is the USS Sullivan battle flag. So thanks, George. It's appreciated. We do fly one from the Sullivans, just like the active ship now, DDG 68. That was where I took the inspiration from, because I was looking at pictures of her and they had this beautiful 5 gold star battle flag flying, and I said, why don't we have that here? So we got one last year, and we will be purchasing another one for this. It's a little sturdier than this one, but this is a nice backdrop, or in a pinch, maybe the winter one, because this is like a nylon one. But the one that we have flying now is actually stitched with each star, and that will be our season 1 moving forward, along with the Shamrock flag.
Kurt says hello from Williamsville.
And Mount Morris, John, hi.
Mount Morris and John, yep. So Kurt, hello from Williamsville. When can we show up to help with the cleanup? We will, actually, we're going to talk about that tonight. We will get to that and have some answers for you guys. Ken wants to stay in the captain's cabin while he's there for cleanup.
The captain's cabin on Sullivan's or Little Rock or Kroger. Very good. Thanks, Ken.
So there's a lot of questions, and I'm not skipping over these because these are questions that we will probably answer throughout the episode.
Yeah, let's get to the dry docking thing too. I mean, my fingers have worn out trying to answer people on the dry docking question. So, pardon me.
I freely admit the original Top Gun is also not the best movie in the world. I also freely admit to owning 5 copies. Okay. Dr. Alexander Clark of Britain is hoping to visit you guys next month. Okay.
Yeah, George, thank you. I do not know that name offhand. Is he a maritime historian, or if you want to follow up with that? There's a lot of people that, we might be getting a Navy. We had a naval architect here during the 3 weeks. He has now left, but we are looking at getting like a naval engineer here as well. How is that different from an architect? I don't know, but Andy, the naval architect, was so helpful. Thank you. NPK. Am I late? Oh, Scott, Little. Sorry.
All right. You want to get to?
Well, I got to these.
Okay, you got to these already. So, do you want to talk about the volunteers?
Yeah, let's go with the volunteers. If we're updated with the questions. Oh, and I want to do the dry docking.
We will discuss dry docking. We're just kind of waiting for everybody to get in because it is a common question that we get. So we just want to make sure that everybody that is curious about it will get to hear it. We will address dry docking though in a little bit. So volunteers, we are going to need volunteers, and so many of you have been, great coming out and saying, hey, I want to help, when can we help? And I think that's, we are so appreciative of that. And some of the things, though, we are going to need people with technical skills. I know electricians. And
and we're looking at
welders and electricians. So some of these things we're going to need very specific help with. So if you are an electrician or a welder, or somebody that would be interested in volunteering their time, definitely have them give us a call or an email. So we can. And that's not to say that's all we need. We're going to need help, and we're going to,
We're just going to need cleaners, to people, to painters, so we'll need those kind of things that are very concrete labor of love. You can come in and say, hey, I painted this bulkhead, right? So with cleaning and painting or whatever, we also are looking for students, that are, say, in electrical engineering school. We got to redo the electricity on board. We need to, so there's a lot that we are looking at right now. We also would like submarine veterans. All right, so we want to put out a call to submarine vets. We do have a sub here, all right, and we'd love to have some help. So we are trying to build a program. I think I saw John Epp earlier on the stream somewhere. Yep. Okay. Don't ask me why. The Naval Park never really had a very strong volunteer organization or infrastructure like other museum ships do. Don't know why, but it's the way it is. So we are trying to build one. All right. The COD is very strong. Our two nearest neighbors, COD and Slater. They obviously their programs are very strong, and the Slater's YouTube channel shows the work being done by volunteers. So we've reached out to them. Bill on our end, Tim on Slater's end, and they're discussing how you guys, John, have built that wonderful program out there, and we want to do the same. So we do have a submarine that's going to need some help. We have one caretaker who works part-time there on her, and so really anything, sub-vets, electrical engineering people with that real technical skills. We need people just to do that real concrete labor of love stuff. But we'll be putting out a YouTube video probably next week, maybe. This stuff is rolling so quick, right? I'm also looking for help in the collections and artifacts, right? So if you want to sit with me and the conservator in the space behind Korea, like in the video from yesterday.
Just don't do it in January.
Yeah, you were in there, right? Thank you, Frank. Okay.
John says, I believe one of our electricians is coming out there when the time comes. That's awesome. Yes. Thank you, John.
I mean, this is...
Do trains run to Buffalo? They sure do, Kirk. They sure do.
Oh, boy, Kirk. Do you know Buffalo was the largest railway center, second only to Chicago? There were 16 lines. Now we're getting into my industrial heritage love here. There were 16 individual rail lines that came into Buffalo at one time, and it was the largest hub besides Chicago. So yeah, there you go. Now it's just Amtrak and CSX.
So Scott says can do paint and lagging. Also, I'm a telecom field engineer, so low voltage wiring. Also a former sonar tech with the U.S. Navy.
Who's saying this?
Scott.
Oh, Scott. Scott, are you coming? He lives in, what is it, Georgia? I can't remember where Scott's from. Sorry, Scott. We'd love to have you up. All right, because you could do a little bit of everything. Yes, John, thank you. I mean, this is what we're talking about here. We'd love, and we haven't figured out what we're going to do. Like, I'm getting a little energized. Right? I was really low energy, but now seeing everyone show an interest is really kind of energizing me here a little bit. I'd love to say we can get you to stay on. You can stay on board the Little Rock. We've got the heads, we've got the showers. And you guys can sleep on board. Even if it's for a day or two. If you're close enough and that's a worthwhile trip. Anything helps. And so I'm going to push from our end to open up the Little Rock for, how many couldn't sleep?
The Little Rock?
Yeah. For encampments is 250.
Yeah.
But there's other berthing spaces beyond that, right?
Yes.
That are not used. More. So, we might be able to comfortably sleep 300. Yeah, and all the heads work, all the showers work, so the galley works if you guys wanted to cook on the griddle or something like that, or there's a lot of restaurants around here get stuff delivered. So it's something I really am looking forward to, meeting people, having you guys here experiencing this, and then also helping like our few other step forwards have, like Brian and John and Carl and Chris and Mark. And Matt. So I've tried to build this tight network of people. Oh, Brendan was a volunteer. He did that before he became the caretaker. So I've been trying to do what I can on my own. But now if we expand it out to everyone, we'd love to have you guys on the Little Rock. Okay, so Kirk, thank you so very much. You need to tap into the Bills Mafia. I'll leave it to that guy. I don't know anything about that, except jumping on tables. Is that right?
No.
I'm a Miami Dolphin fan.
We are much...
I was a Miami Dolphin fan growing up. Super Duper, the Mark and Mark show or whatever? I mean, come on.
We are much more than
Killer Bees.
Jumping through tables, okay?
Okay, yeah, okay. Thank you, Ed. We'd love to have you. Maybe you're near Cleveland or maybe east. We got, hi,
Hold on, sorry, I'm reading, I gotta find a comment here. Let's see. Bryce said something about, I do information tech, I could teach you to sign off the live stream properly. And then Ken said, Bryce, don't you dare help them with properly ending the live stream. If you are new, if it is your first time here, yeah, our endings are ridiculous.
Yeah.
Is that a good way to put it?
Yeah, and I mean, I was on with Ken, History X. We did a live session on Saturday morning, so he does have that up on the channel. It was about, thanks, Ken, it was about an hour and 15 minutes, and I'm like, well, I got to go to my nephew's birthday, but he just wouldn't let me stop, so I had to give him what he wanted, I guess. But you could check out Ken's History X channel, and you can see that interview, and obviously see all of his other.
And you can see how a live stream should end.
Yeah. That's probably true.
We're not gonna.
So Ken actually wondered if there was, maybe not for this particular reason, but if there was someone who worked behind the camera.
There's not.
And I made it very clear, and they said, oh yeah, because you guys stink.
That's why at the beginning you always see one of us
Right.
coming and sitting down and only one of us right here.
Right, because it would be a lot more technically savvy if there was a third
probably
person
much
in
better,
here.
but I mean, we do what we can, right? It's one of the reasons people keep coming back. They like to see us.
Yeah, it is. Yes, absolutely. Hey, may the 4th be with you as well, 30 and hating
We'll get there, 30.
Okay.
Don't you worry about that. Happy Star Wars Day, guys, and congrats on raising the ship.
Thank you.
Hold on. I just wanted to, John Radens, he's one of our docents. Reach out to Seneca and Hutch Tech High School for electric, McKinley for carpenter, BOCES for welding, many other resources.
Thank you, John. Yeah, that's a good thought. That would be for our Director of Education.
John, I'll watch the rest tomorrow. Fan wins if Valo sees time for it to go. Well, thank you for tuning in, John, and hopefully you get to catch the rest.
Oh, John Slaughter, thank you. Yeah, that'd be great. Thanks for all your support and your comments. I've enjoyed interacting with you.
Yeah.
There's the over and under from Ken History X.
Oh, yeah.
I should mention that? Okay, so Ken, I just brought Steven up to speed. So during our live session on History X channel, Ken actually played this fun little game called Over and Under. And so he had pictures of the various compartments, I think maybe about 5 or 6 on the Sullivans. And he says, Shane, is this over the water or under the water? So that was fun. So I answered.
You don't like
those.
surprise?
No, it was good.
You don't like
he had this cute little
quizzes?
graphic of sea and fish and seagulls, and I think he had him sunbathing like on a beach. It was also in the graphic.
Well, I'm going to go have a good one. All right, MPK, thank you for stopping by. Yeah, I mean, it's great. Even if you guys can only tune in for a few minutes, I mean, we do appreciate it because you guys are always still active in those few minutes that you're here. So you do ask your questions, and so we do appreciate you taking the time out to definitely watch us. We didn't want to leave Andrew out tonight, so Andrew is joining us. from the moon of Yavin.
Really?
Yeah.
Boy, that's deep in the sand trap there. The moon of Yavin.
So here's Andrew this week. So yeah, it's I'm a big Star Wars nerd, and you know that.
Okay.
You dabble, right?
I've only seen the original 6 139 times.
Yeah. So I thought it would be cool.
Okay.
If we looked at just for fun, the Imperial Navy rank guide for the Galactic Empire.
Interesting.
So they have so we have this little chart here, and they have, so their midshipman is the ensign, and their specialist rank, officer. Then we have the lieutenants, commanders.
So what is these are what they're calling?
No, so because like Grand Admiral is here too, but he's also known, his position is Warlord, which I think is. Do we have a Warlord? Can I be the Warlord?
Go for it.
I'm the Warlord. No, but I mean it's very similar to our Navy, which makes
that's interesting.
I do know what happens to him. Okay. He's the real hero of the Star Wars trilogy.
All right, let's roll. Let's get to some questions. That's good.
So just Captain, Admiral, Vice Admiral,
John F.
Admiral, Grand Admiral.
That's cool. So this is something on the internet, and they have those interesting bars.
Right. Yeah, and you can see their insignia. Right here.
Yeah, the ribbons that they wear. Yeah, that's cool.
I mean, I just thought it was cool.
It is cool.
Little thing for Star Wars.
So does it? Yeah. Let me just, because you sprung this on me. So you got a midshipman, the specialist rank, officer, midship, lieutenant is lieutenant. A senior lieutenant is known as a captain in the Galactic Empire, right? Is a junior commander is a commander, senior commander a major. Okay. Vice Admiral, Grand Admiral, Warlord, High Admiral, Fleet Admiral.
There is, you can actually, I'm not going to go through all this because we don't want to just spend the whole time talking about Star Wars, but you can look it up on Wikipedia. Okay?
Oh my God.
And it has a list of all the different Galactic Republic, Confederacy, Galactic Empire, First Order, Resistance. Go down that rabbit hole, it's fun.
And do you know who invented the Galactic Empire, which is why I mentioned it earlier before we went online?
Who invented the Galactic Empire? What do you mean, invented?
The idea of a galactic empire. Does anyone know out there who invented the Galactic Empire theme? Meaning humans are populating millions and millions of worlds, that sort of thing. Who was the originator of that? Thank you.
All right, oh no.
No, we're still on.
Are we? Lots of Star Wars comments.
Okay, let's get back.
We'll go back. Hold on, there was a
Let's get back to, you're going to open up Star Wars? Yeah, there you go.
I know, I did that.
So if there's any...
there was a question here, and I wanted to get back to it, and I do apologize.
Listen, there's still a lot of stuff going on that I'm glad that we are... God, is that my bald spot? Holy moly. Anyway, it's been a rough 3 weeks. So right now, you've watched the updates. We don't know. I don't know. We're probably going to, as I said, put out a call for the volunteers next week. We will also have a subsequent forum that you could visit at our website. You could also go do it now. It's if you go to our website, buffalonavalpark.org, we have our Support Us banner up at the top. And it says volunteer, and then there will be a form. Now, we are dedicating a staff person, Brendan Lindahl, who's the caretaker of the Little Rock. So he will begin collating and organizing that all of those forms that come in and get them into the right area, because it will say, what are you interested in doing? Are you interested in maintenance? Are you interested in electrical? Are you interested in, and that might not be the full form, but.
Did this person get it right?
They did, Pat. You got it.
Oh, hold on, Eric said it too.
Eric, you got it.
Are you going to tell them?
They got it right, Isaac Asimov. Right.
Someone had a good
Pebble in the sky.
Someone had a really good question about the Sullivans, and I'm trying to find it. So if you have anything to talk about while I'm looking for this.
We went down those. So, we have the video. I have about the 50-minute video of me walking around the Sullivans. I was not able to get into every compartment. So if you've watched the 3D video, they allowed me to go down into that berthing, 2nd Division berthing. I was in S Division. I went into E Division. And then I came out, went to the bow, or the A section, just made sure that the Sullivan's memorial compartment, everything's off, but to make sure there was no water damage or anything like that. I did go up to the O1 level to look around the navigation compartment and the radio room. Again, no water intrusion. Just with that, because of the list, some things fell off the shelving from port to starboard. So there's just going to be some cleanup there, and those were display models. They were we weren't using them in any sort of way, any of the radio equipment or receivers or transmitters or anything like that. And then I got down to the mess decks, forward through G Division and forward through in the back after 2nd Division, 1st Division, near the bow, anchor windlass. Those areas that we've worked in, the sonar. So,
all right. So we got a question here, and this is fun because it's a question that doesn't have to do with what's been going on the past 3 weeks. It's an actual question about the Sullivan's history. So, who is more in their World War II configuration, the Sullivans or the Cass and Young?
Wow. I do not have that. Who's more in a World War II configuration, Sullivans or Cass and Young? I don't know. They might be very similar. Is Cass and Young missing their Mount 53 like we are? I always compare ourselves with a kid who is in her mostly World War II configuration. You know what? I'll have to do more research on that. We are in her mostly we are in our 1959 refit, and then over the course of time, they brought back the Oerlikons, which would not have been in 1959. The Hedgehogs are still there, so that was a World War II thing. So she's really, what do you want to call it? Like a beautiful smash up or mash up or whatever those are called. But Cass and Young, I'm going to get on that. I should know that, being one of the 3 Fletchers in America. I just don't have much of a relationship with Cass and Young. I have much different relationship with the USS Kidd. We talk to each other quite a bit. I just haven't. I think they're run by the National Park System, so I've never really met a ranger there, or had interactions with them. So, I don't know, to tell you the honest to God truth, but our configuration is kind of a mashup, certainly.
All right, just trying to make sure I'm not missing anything here. Okay. So with the forms, we should get them in soon to volunteer. Yeah, we're going to be working on the form.
Well, the form's out. It's on.
Oh, it is out?
Yeah,
okay, my apologies.
Yeah.
The form is on. So yeah, go ahead and get the form in, Daniel. Anybody else, the form is on the website. And again, if you have any specialties, make sure you, even if it's not on the forms, be like, hey, I could do this.
Yeah, I think there's a space for you just to fill in. Scott has what about the 490 funding given to the museum? How will that help?
That's the Higgins money.
Yes.
From the, that went to vote in Congress.
Yes. So that is, let me see, we had some, so we've raised $1 million. We got $500,000 from Save Our Treasures, which is because she's a National Historic Landmark. This one is being used, I think, to start the endowment, I think. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
I don't even think we've gotten that money yet, but I'm pretty sure that it's The $1 million project is already, the money's already there and covered.
And been spent. Some of it's been spent.
Yeah.
Because I think that's, I'd like to address that real quick, because that's, sometimes when we get the negative comments, that's one of the things that come up. Where did the $1 million go that we raised? And you know what? It's a good question, right? It's a question that the public deserves to know and everything. And so I know we've said it before, but we hired Bidco last year, and they did start the work last year. The work that they're doing, the epoxy that they put on the hull cannot be done properly when it's below 54 degrees. So this was like a time when they couldn't be working. So the money that we raised, the $1 million, was raised to hire Bidco, which we did, and they're continuing to work. Some of that money has been paid out to them already. So we do understand the public deserves to know these questions, and you guys helped us raise all this money, and it's, we are so gracious for that, and you deserve an answer, and the answer is there. Like, we are spending it to fix the Sullivans, and we've been doing that since last year. And
and that gets to the dry docking thing, right? Well, let's cover that now, the dry docking thing. Yeah, that's one of our major questions, is why isn't she in dry dock, or when is she going to dry dock?
I think the most basic and simple answer we can give to that right now is the integrity of the hull wouldn't withstand it. Is that correct?
Yeah, we worried about that. So certainly the $4 to $5 to $6 million.
And then that's the other thing, is the funding. We don't have enough money to dry dock her right now.
We went to Don John in Erie, Pennsylvania last year, where the USS Cod was last year. We looked at the dry dock. She would actually fit all 3 of our ships all at once. And then they gave us, the rundown of what they need from us first and how the process starts. But then it's like $4, $5, $6 million. We're saying, okay, thank you very much. So then we came up with the epoxy plan, as Stephen was mentioning. That is supposed to give her a 10 to 15 year protective layer.
It's like 20-ish years, yeah.
Yeah, 20-ish years.
Enough time for us to raise money to dry dock, if that's the proper way to go. And that's the other thing too, is we have to, we're looking at all of our options. What's the best option? If dry docking isn't, there are plenty of other options out there, and a lot of you in past weeks have mentioned some of the different options and ways that we can do that.
Yeah, coffer damming, things like that.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's not that we're just like dead set against dry docking. It's just right at this moment in time, it's not.
Right.
It's not possible.
We don't have that funding as of right now. That's right. And as Steve had alluded to, about 2 years ago, we had a serious conversation about dry docking. The staff did. We started talking to some people, and we were worried about the condition of her hull 2 years ago. We're in the middle, not in the middle, because we're going from Buffalo to Erie, right hugging the shoreline, but we worried there was some talk that she would go down, like being tugged. Right. Either
again, these are ships that are. I mean, she's 80 years old, about almost 80 years old, and these ships were made to last for 25 years, and that's why most of their counterparts are
in the same
scrap.
Yeah. Right.
So
I mean, we can't imagine just her going beneath the waves like that in Lake Erie. And we said, once we heard that a couple of times, we said, no.
And I think, not everybody gets to see like our in-depth meetings and our planning and just years of us working on solutions and stuff like that. But I can promise you that this team, especially this team that we have right now, including, Paul, our CEO, is we are doing everything for the best interest of the Sullivan to make sure that she lives another 80 years, if that's possible. We really do have the best interests of the Sullivans, and I promise you, nobody's working harder than us to make sure that she survives for generations to come.
Yeah, can't say it any better myself. This is now part of her history. Thankfully, we successfully navigated this. I mean, just having 70 people here a day within a day and a half, and the operations center gets set up, the incident gets named, and we are rolling. Meetings, 7 a.m., 12, and 4 p.m., rustling the public relations, Of course, the Coast Guard, the contamination. I mean, it's been yeoman's, it's been a yeoman's work for many of the staff, and certainly Paul and the board have been there every step of the way.
Yeah.
More so than the staff. We take days off or here and there, or one day off a week. Paul didn't. Right?
7 days a week he's here.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and you guys, you ask the right questions, you ask great questions, and you bring up great points, and, let's just keep on doing that, and we promise you we're going to keep on doing everything we can to keep this park going. Couple things, John Radins wants to know how the mannequins are in CIC.
Does he really?
I think it was a joke.
Well, I can tell you, John, that one mannequin was leaning up against the passageway door. So he would have been at the radar station, and he shifted from the center line. Now he's leaning against the door. Okay, Cass and Young has all 5 of her mounts. Okay, so there's a difference. Thank you, Chris D. It's appreciated.
Okay, John was serious. Okay, he was not joking. He wants to know how the mannequins are.
Yeah, okay. So I told him.
I'm sorry, John. I didn't mean to.
The one in CIC is just kind of leaning against the door, hands out, so his back is on the door. Grosso, I think that was his name, in the ship's office. He's still there, but, that's
what
a tough
uniforms
spot.
are the mannequins wearing?
They're wearing, like, their blues.
Yeah.
Some of them are wearing their blues. Some of them are wearing their dungarees. So.
Someone else had a good question. Focus has been on the Sullivans. How's the conditions of the other 2?
Reed Hughes as well. Focus, how are the other 2 ships doing? Is that the question?
Yeah, how are the other 2 vessels?
Okay, so the Little Rock, we'll kind of give the overview here. The Croaker, 6A starboard ballast tank. She's sitting on a shelf in the riverbed. We think that at some point, again, affecting all of this was the river going down for all 3 of our ships, and we started to see that last year, and it really hasn't raised. So the winter, the spring thaws, nothing really raised the Buffalo River. So we're thinking that the Croaker rubbing against that shelf, parallel with it, popped a hole in the 6A ballast tank. Other than that, she's fairly okay. She does have a leak from a cut pipe at a union joint in her in the sonar area, and we did do a video in February. I think it was 28 and 28, checking buckets. All right, so you can see that one if you'd like. So they're going to seal that. Bidco while they're here, and then talk again about dry docking her as well. And for the Little Rock, no problems on the hull, 4.5 inches thick. The packing glands that just gets a drip. So Brendan checks those once a week. He goes around to check some of the other spots that, where those garbage cans are and the pumps and stuff like that. I do not know where they lead to or where they come from, but he checks all those once a week. The problem with the Little Rock is, of course, her superstructure, the bimetallic welding, all of that has begun rotting out. So we might get a rainfall or the snow melt up on the 03, 04, 05 levels, and all of a sudden it's trickling down through every level. And then
sometimes it's difficult to see where it's even coming from.
Of course, because you're just looking up at an overhead. There's the leak. Then you got to go to the compartment above it.
Right.
Then you got to go to the compartment above it. And what if there's not? So it's so that is really her issue. So we did buy some rubber, that rubber sealant, and this year before the Sullivans incident, we have 10 gallons of this rubber sealant, and we are going to go around, test it out first. We're prepared to buy more, but we're going to cover the 3-inch 50 deck. All right, so it's funny, we were just talking about the Little Rock, but this was actually this 10 gallons of rubber sealant was for the Sullivans. So seal the 3-inch 50, seal the Mark 37 gun director, and then that will prevent it from going down and then down and then into the tour route. So that's what we're going to do on the upper platforms above the deck houses, and again the 3-inch 50, the Mark 37 gun director platform. And then if it's good, then we're going to buy it en masse and begin doing the rest of the Sullivans down to the 02, down to the 01, and then begin also doing it on the Little Rock as well. So we want to see, this is like a test patch. This is it's testing to see how the seals, you know, and then if we can repaint it, what does it look like if we just paint right over it, that sort of stuff. So
I'm going to get to Hugh's comment. Let me find it here. I wish you had spent more time on serious questions. No, we get that, Hugh. And a lot of times that some answers go into other discussions, and yeah, we do, like, we like to have a little bit of fun on here, but we get it. We get the questions and the serious nature of everything that's going on. You know, we're trying to answer as many questions as we can. We really are trying to not ignore any. So if you did have a question that I missed.
He does. He's right down there at the bottom. Hugh does. Flex Seal, John Ayers. Yeah, got it, Flex Seal. So Hugh, Little Rock's armor belt is thick, but her bottom south of the belt is much thinner, right? Well, she's double hulled. And we don't really have any leaking at all coming up from the keel, the garboards, or any of those holds and bilge spaces. There's really, it's coming from the packing glands and then running down. And there's a little, right again at the splash zone, I'm thinking of the mess deck. Mm-hmm. Remember last year you fixed that thing in the scullery?
Oh, where yeah, that was
where the dishwasher was.
Yeah.
So again, those joints.
And Bill Parsons, we got to give him some credit too.
Oh yeah, Bill Pearson.
Yeah. Sorry, Bill Pearson.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
So, you know, we think the actual keel garboard, those strakes right down there at the bottom are pretty darn solid. So, yeah, the armor belt is good. Yeah, so we're not seeing any of the integrity issues that we saw on the Sullivans at all. And now she's also about 3 to 4 feet in the riverbed at any given time. Mm-hmm. So that's so
unlike the Sullivans that comes.
Yeah. I mean, she hits the bottom.
She's literally floating, but then she'll hit the right.
Yeah, and that's kind of what some of those theories are. That
right.
You know, that the river, you know, as it went down, it went up 5 feet, went down 6 feet. That she kind of impacted on the bottom,
right.
And that would have been that Wednesday, then leading into Thursday it would have happened again. Getting too far ahead of ourselves here, but yeah, those are some of the things we're talking about. Sorry, we got the cord down here and I want to kind of avoid it.
I will make, that was bad on my part, putting the cord there.
Be careful with the rubberized sealants. People use that on trucks and cars, then come back to find out it kept moisture in. Wow. Okay, 30 and hating it. Thank you so very much. Right, that's why we're just going to test it on those two platforms, the 3-inch 50 and the Mark 37 gun director. Michael, thank you. Okay, well, 30 and hating it because losing his Jeep. What type of Jeep did you have? 30 and hating it. What type of Jeep are you about ready to lose? Sorry to hear.
Oh no, that's terrible. You're losing your Jeep. Jeep owners are very proud car owners.
They are.
Yeah.
And he just hit a baby. Yes, that's right. He said that a couple months ago.
No, that was somebody's. Wasn't it like somebody was having a nephew?
No. I remember 30 and hating it said he was having a baby a couple months ago.
All right. Well, congratulations, 30 and hating it.
Yeah. Hugh, thank you for that with the USS Massachusetts. I don't know if you've watched our collisions video, but the Sullivans and the Massachusetts kissed a little bit in 1944. And we still have the weld repair on ours. I don't know about the Massachusetts, but it would be interesting to get into their records to see if they have a notation in their war diary of that. I think it was, come on, Shane. Like September 28th, 1944, something like that, I think it was.
So Bryce brings up, what about a sealed off area? We can control the water, so that's like a coffer dam. Yeah, I mean, these are, again, options that we are looking at.
Yeah.
For sure. It's a little, I think it's a little difficult in the Buffalo River. The Buffalo River, Lake Erie, Niagara Falls, they're all connected. So they are all just unexpectable.
Yeah, unpredictable.
Unpredictable, that's the word I was looking for.
Yes. Thank you, Scott, for getting... at this point, what is the best way we can support you guys? Thank you. Certainly, we talked about, buying some merchandise from us. That would be fabulous.
Right, now that we're getting the volunteer forms out there, that's going to be another way.
Volunteer forms.
I think, too, just
the 3D model has a donation button if you're going and visiting the 3D model.
And like something else that I think that we should mention is just like your patience and your support for us. Like, we get it, everybody wants answers, and probably nobody more than us. But I mean, that's supporting us as well. So, like allowing us to do our jobs and try to do it as best that we can. And there's been a lot of love that comes out from everybody here, and especially our viewers. So we do appreciate that, and that helps. That definitely helps and supports us.
It absolutely does. I sit there and I respond to comments, and I've enjoyed going through the comments that are not only just held for review, but that won't ever be released.
Right.
People calling us swear words and all of that stuff. I understand that, and I've tried to be nice with people who've left us comments that are negative. I'm trying to say, well, you have a lot of passion. You've done it on Twitter once or twice. I've done it as well.
Like, if people have concerns and they're passionate, and so I'm like, listen, I get it. Join us on our live show. Ask some questions. Hopefully we have answers for you. Maybe you can understand where we're coming from better. Maybe we can understand your frustrations better. We're definitely open for dialogue. So, even if you have something negative to say, we're more than happy to conversate with you and get on the same page. Maybe not change so much.
Unexpectable and conversate. You see, Frank, unexpectable. Got to work that into the conversation somehow.
Yeah, honestly. I'm keeping that word.
I'll let you computate.
I am keeping that word and reusing it every chance.
We had the update tonight. If
Conversate's not a word?
I bet you it is.
I'm pretty sure conversate is a word.
Yeah,
word.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it is a word. Yes, Scott. As I said, the better on the Sullivans was actually better than I expected. The bad on the Sullivans was actually worse than I expected. So in my brain...
Converse, that's the word.
She actually went this way, more to the extreme, in good and in bad. So, and that doesn't mean that there's nothing wrong with the integrity. It's just the amount of contaminant in certain spaces, and just the amount of cleanup. I don't even know how we're going to be able to get into, say, the reduction gears to clean the gears and things like that. And I'm not saying we can't, but, there's silt, there's hydraulic, there's diesel, there's fuel, there's just the microbials from the Buffalo River. I didn't see any fish, on the deck, though. That was good, but... every surface is going to be needed, is needing to be cleaned.
Yeah. So 30 and Hating It says, I'm not going to apologize for telling off one of those bad commenters. I don't think we're necessarily...
You go for it.
I don't think we're necessarily apologizing either. We're just, and if we do, we get things wrong all the time, like when we're giving information out or whatever. And I think that both of us are really good about owning that. And so, if there's apology is needed, we'll give it. But a lot of times these people are just frustrated and they want answers, and we'll give it to them. And it doesn't mean we're necessarily going to be like, I'm sorry, if we're not. No, I don't know.
No,
you get what I'm saying, right?
I get it. We're not just going to bow down and apologize, but we will dialogue with you. Yeah. We'll conversate.
We'll conversate. Look, conversate is a correct grammar.
Yeah, okay, good.
A non-standard word.
Oh, non-standard.
A term that people often say, yet that does not represent proper grammar. So I am not as educated as...
It's like when I say ironical. Probably ironical is probably not a word. I enjoy saying it. Okay, do the gauges, the History X, did the gauges in the engine room turn all cloudy and fill with gunk? I did not make it to the engine rooms. They did not allow me to go there. I walked around with 2 bodyguards, and they said, this is where you're going to stop. So I shined some of the camera in there, but where the throttle board is, I couldn't see. So I do not know as of right now, but those can be cleaned. We can take those valves off, the covers off, give them a quick clean, and then, or remove the whole thing, put it in distilled water. Can the Sullivans Thank you, Hulk Hogan's tights.
He's on fire tonight.
Yeah, he's good. No, we cannot. All right, our engines don't start on the Croaker like other museum subs do. They can start their engines. We don't have the ability to fire a blank from our 5-inch 38s. So when I started here, there was a policy and a way of doing things. And now we are trying to change that, right? So maybe a museum ship doing something for the past 15 years a certain way, we are doing it and playing catch up after 5 years of trying to do things a certain way. So they had certain policies here that, they had certain monies coming in or monies not coming in, and that really negated what we could do here. And that's why we're trying to build the volunteer program now, especially around this incident, get everyone involved the way other museum ships do. And we want to bring ourselves up to speed with that. And we're very proud of the work that we do here, even though this incident has stained us in certain ways. We are very proud of the work and the stories that we tell here.
All right, it is 9:04, so I'm going to run through these last couple questions. How flooded are the boilers?
Okay, John, thank you. I won't say that's a specific boiler, but the boiler rooms were, and the fire rooms and the engine rooms were pretty filled, sir. Right from where you light off the boiler, probably till close to the main deck.
All right. John Apps from the Slater, the risk with these old deck guns exploding on you, like what happened with the kid, isn't worth the money show. Slater used to do this for ceremonies, but stopped a few years back.
Oh, interesting. Thank you, John. Thank you, John.
There was a question I thought I missed. I'm just trying not to miss any questions, guys. I do apologize.
A little obscure Little Rock question I read somewhere.
Yes, that was the one. Okay. Do you see it?
It's right in the middle. I read somewhere that she was going to remain in service in the 80s, but her engines were shot. Do you know if that's the case? Matthew, thank you for that question. I have not come across that anywhere in the collections, anywhere in the records of the Little Rock. Again, she was decommissioned on November 22nd, 1976. So that 4 extra years, the Okie City was the last that was in service, and she was until 1979. I believe she was finally sunk in 1999, I think. So even with the Okie City CGL-5, she was only in service until 79. So by that time, you got the Ticonderoga coming out, and the newer technology. And these had already been fitted with 1960 technology. They probably weren't going to do it again for 1980 technology.
So 30 and hating it. As I was reading his comment, I realized he got me in it. Do you guys need any spare parts? My cousin served in the fleet and has access to a lot of stuff like that. He flew T-65s and hit the power regulator before retreating to Endor. Last name and All right, on that note, guys, it is after 9 o'clock, and I do apologize. Children.
Is it Wedge? Is it Wedge?
It's Wedge Antilles. Good night.
Go to bed, Cash. Really deep. Yes. Hugh, thank you. Yep, okay. Guys, thanks so much for your support. Keep looking back. We've done a lot of videos and updates over the last few days. So we got to regroup. We got staff meetings coming up soon to figure out how we're going to address things moving forward. And then we'll have updates as we go. And we are out of here. Thank you. Okay. Oh, my back is...